Hey guys, it's Madison Estes. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated horror films for 2026. Starting off this list is Soulmate, the Megan spinoff that is expected to release in January. This movie is about a man that recently lost his wife and he buys an AI companion in order to help him get over his grief. I liked the first Megan. I loved the second Megan film, and this is in the Megan universe. It's unclear whether or not it's going to be a more serious film than the first two, especially the last one, which I don't really feel like is a horror film. I think it's going to be a more serious take, and I'm excited because I really liked the first two, and I think that this is a really interesting premise. It also reminds me a little bit of another very popular film that came out last year that I'm trying not to spoil for those that still haven't seen it. So I think that this just has a lot of potential. I like the Megan series, so I'm excited to see where they go with this. The next film I'm looking forward to is We Bury the Dead, which has a release date of January 2nd. This film stars Daisy Ridley. It's about a woman that is looking for her missing husband during a zombie apocalypse. Basically, people start dying after a military experiment, and then she discovers that they are starting to come back to life or become somewhat sentient, possibly. So I think this is going to be like a serious take on the sentient zombie trope. I feel like zombie films are kind of few and far between these days, at least in terms of like the nom nom, I'm gonna eat you zombie, not like in terms of like Lisa Frankenstein or, Wednesday and things like that, like the charming zombie, I guess. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and also it looks like it might dive into some grief horror. I'm expecting a sad story based on the trailer, so that might be interesting. But either way, I think that it looks really good. Next up is Return to Silent Hill, which currently has a release date of January 23rd. We have a lot of horror films coming out in January for some reason. I don't know what the deal is, but most of the ones I'm really excited about are coming out very early. The story is about a man named James who receives a letter from his long-lost love, Mary, who brings him to Silent Hill. For those of you that aren't familiar with the franchise, Silent Hill is basically an eldritch location where lots of monsters live and people have to reconcile with their demons and their past while being chased by these, monsters that are often symbolic of their own internal demons. I'm mostly looking forward to this because I really like the live action Silent Hill films. I think that they're very creepy. The games are creepy. So I think this is going to be really interesting, and it looks like they are adapting directly from the video game, so that should be interesting. There are multiple endings, so it'll also be interesting to see which one they pick. I'm assuming they're probably going to pick the one that just rips our heart out, though. That's what I think. On a happier note, next up on my list is Send Help, which is also coming out in January. This movie stars Rachel McAdams as the disgruntled employee who is tired of getting picked on by her boss, who is a class 1 a-hole. They end up on a plane that crashes on a deserted island, and the tables turn whenever he becomes injured and has to rely on her in order to survive. So I think that this is going to be a really fun horror film. Probably going to be a little bit more like psychological thriller as opposed to straight up horror, but who knows? I love it. I think it's going to have some Eat the Rich themes. I think that it's going to be very validating and very wish fulfillment centric in terms of just disgruntled employees that fantasize about something bad maybe happening to their boss. I think that it's just going to be a really fun film. Next up is Whistle, which currently has a release date of February 6th. This movie is about a group of teenagers that blow on a Aztec death whistle. Okay, so appropriation aside, no, actually, I don't know if that's offensive or not, but either way, Aztec death whistle. Okay, I don't know, maybe that's actually a thing. I don't know. Maybe it was also written by an Aztec person. What are the odds? So anyways, they blow on this Native American death whistle in a way that is not appropriation, and death begins coming after all of them. So it seems like it's going to be a lot like Final Destination or Tarot, which was my guilty pleasure film of 2024. I think that this is going to be another really good guilty pleasure film where it's just a bunch of teenagers trying to fight off, their inevitable demise by a supernatural entity that is all powerful. Not really a horror film, but it is my most anticipated film of next year, and it is about horror films, and that is Scary Movie 6, or Scary Movie with the Roman numeral 6 in it, which I think is already pretty funny because there's a lot of films that do that now. I think I saw Scary Movie before I even saw Scream. I watched it so many times as a kid. It was one of my favorite films. It's still one of my favorite comedies, like the first two or three. Anna Faris is going to be back. The actress that plays Brenda is going to be back. The Wayne brothers are going to be back writing. I'm assuming they're going to be in the film as well. And there's just been so many good horror movies, especially good films that would be good to parody, that have come out since the last one. Bird Box, Megan, Wednesday, The Black Phone. If they don't parody The Black Phone, I'm actually going to be angry. Like, that is just gold. Comedic gold potential right there. My personal, just kind of like crazy little wish is that they will include Hugh Grant's character from Heretic as just like the weird Reddit guy in like the, you know, Mr. Rogers vest, who's just like trying to convince everybody of his crazy Reddit theories. And you just see like Anna Faris's character and Brenda just like getting bored listening to him go on and on. And, you know, maybe he like pulls out a board game and he's like, who wants to play Monopoly? I think that could be really funny. Although Heretic might not be popular enough for them to parody. I don't know, we'll see. There's just been so many films to parody, almost too many choices. I don't know, I think it's going to be so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to this. Next up is one that I've mentioned a couple times, that is Thread: An Insidious Tale. So this movie is about a couple whose daughter dies and they're trying to use magic to bring her back. Something like that. I didn't bother looking it up because this movie has appeared in my most anticipated list 2 years in a row. I still haven't released it. Come on already. What are you waiting for? Anyways, I think I already mentioned it's gonna have Mandy Moore in it. I like the Insidious series, everything but the last installment. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be good. If they ever release it, I think it's gonna be good. Next up is The Backrooms. It's gonna be released by A24. The Backrooms, for those of you that don't know, is a video game that's based on a creepypasta. If you go on Steam, there's like freaking 20 different games that are about the Backrooms. And basically it's like an office space kind of maze where you're trying to run from a monster. If you still can't visualize it, if you ever had a computer in the 90s, you know that screensaver maze where you just keep going through like the loops or the different, you know, like the labyrinth, and you find like the Windows icon and then you turn around and you keep moving. It's like that, except a monster is chasing you. Imagine trying to turn that into a horror film. That's what they're doing. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. I'm curious what kind of plot they're gonna come up with, or if it's gonna be a disaster like Skinamarink, where they're just like, it's a visual experience, you know. There's enough there for you to make up your own story. Like, that is not why I bought a movie ticket. But I'm very hopeful that it's gonna have a plot and that it'll be a good film. Next up is Scream 7. It is going to feature Ghostface, who is hunting Sidney Prescott's daughter. A little familiar. What else is about a serial killer that is a horror icon that is chasing the child of his nemesis? Oh yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if that storyline works for the Scream series. I suspect that it will, especially because if you remember, the original trilogy had some like family dynamics in several of the films. I'm also excited about a lot of actors from the original trilogy are coming back. We don't know how yet, and even if we did know, I wouldn't tell you because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that doesn't want to know. But a lot of the actors are coming back, so I'm excited to see how they're going to be brought back, if they're going to be hallucinations or something else. I'm excited and curious to see how it turns out. Another film that I just heard announced is called Clayface, that's supposed to come out in September. It was co-written by Mike Flanagan, and it is based on a DC character of the same name who is a villainous shapeshifter. So I'm a huge fan of the show The Boys and Gen V. And this sounds like it is just straight up from that show, like, you know, evil shapeshifter. We don't see a whole lot of superhero films that are also horror movies. And I think that this one has a lot of potential. And the fact that Mike Flanagan's involved also has me very excited. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Speaking of Mike Flanagan, there is also the untitled Exorcist film that he is involved with that's supposed to come out this year. I'm only interested in it because of Mike Flanagan. He is like one of my favorite directors, so I'm always curious about anything that he's involved in. Another film I'm going to be keeping my eye on is The Cure. It's about a 16-year-old adopted girl who discovers that her billionaire biotech parents are harvesting her blood for sinister reasons. So I think that's a really cool premise, and it stars Ashley Greene and David Dastmalchian. I'm a big fan of his since I saw him last year in Late Night with the Devil, and then I also saw him this year as the Gemini Killer in Dexter Resurrection. I think he nailed both roles. So I'm excited for this film because I think, great cast, great premise. There's a lot of potential there. So that is my list for most anticipated horror films of 2026. Let me know what you think of these titles in the comment section below, and let me know what horror film are you most looking forward to this year. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and be sure to subscribe. On this channel, I post reviews, writing advice, horror commentary, and vlogs. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.